Hello pals, I'm Coral. Welcome to my 2021 videos. These are the videos I'm going to be filming in I'm just kidding. So I'm here today with the books I'd like to start the year out with. These are just kind of a weird slap together list of shit I want to read. And also a book that I'm doing for the, what is it called? Buzzwordathon? The new kind of Buzzwordathon that Kayla over at Books and Lala has put together, which is, there's a couple different ways to do it because she's not doing like the week-long readathons any longer, but she's set it up. Basically, what I'm going to do is read one book a month that fits into a category that has a buzzword. She's picked different buzzwords. I'll leave a link to the video where she talks about all that in my thing. I was going to make a TBR video for it, or more of like a books I want to read for this and also recommendations, but I think part of the reason why I do bad on challenges like this is because I pick one set book for each thing and then I'm like, I'm gonna read this, but then when I get to like that month, I'm like, you can't tell me what to do, self. I'm not gonna read that, and then I don't want to read it, which is so stupid and dumb. So I'm kind of like leaving the categories open until I get to the month, then I'll pick. But the first word for that, for this month of January, is dream. So I picked Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I've read one of Laini Taylor's books. I like her writing. I just didn't care to continue with the story. So this is about a young man named Laszlo who is a junior librarian, and I think he finds this like civilization that they thought was like dead and gone, and he like finds out that it's not dead and gone. That's really all I know about this. This was a super popular book when it came out, but it's been a couple years now. But I'd like to read it. I think it's only a duology, so if I like it, I'll get the second book. I already got the second book, just kidding. And I'll just read through it and we'll be done. And then I'll be happy that I liked it and it's just 2 books, not like 17. Why are fantasy series like that? Okay, and then there's 2 books I'm planning on reading on my Kindle, so I want to talk about them so I don't forget them because they're not in my pile and because my brain is a goldfish brain. So I'm planning on reading Swamp Monster Massacre by Hunter Shea, which is about a swamp monster. And that's like all I know. I'm curious about it. I want to read some books about cryptids, and I think this will be perfect. It seems like that's kind of like Hunter Shea's forte, and I'd like to read more of his stuff. I really loved his book Creature, which was kind of a Bigfoot book, but a little bit deeper than that. I think Swamp Monster Massacre might be a straight up just swamp monster book though. So I'm excited about that one. The other one on this list is actually a cryptid book. It's called The Pineys. It's by Tony DiGerolamo. This is a book that he gave me for free to review a copy of it, and I haven't. I've been so bad. I lost my Kindle for a while, and then like the Great War happened, and I had been bringing my Kindle with me to read in the car when I would sit and wait for my child to get out of school. And then it was like, it threw my whole schedule off, and then I'm just kind of weird about schedules, I suppose. I just haven't been picking my Kindle up, but I really would like to get to that. It is a story about this village that is by the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, and like the Jersey Devils in it, and like I think it's like turning people into Jersey Devils. I've read part of it, but just a little bit of it, so I'd like to finish that up finally and give it a fucking review. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? So next on my list, this is a reread, and this is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and I'm picking this up because I've started this first book, and then the second book came out and I didn't read it, and then the third book came out and I bought it and I didn't read it, and now the 4th book came out and I pre-ordered it and I haven't even read the second book yet. But now it's been so long that I need to reread the first book, so I'm going to do that. And this is a story that kind of spans a lot of different genres. It's kind of science fiction. It's kind of dystopian. It's got some weird paranormal stuff going on. Throw in some fantasy. It's crazy. It's about, well, we're following a character named Paige, and she kind of has like these, she works with this group of people who have special abilities, and like they aren't supposed to use them. They don't want anyone to find out about them, or they get put basically into these camps, and that's what happens to her. And yeah, I mean, that's what this is about. I don't know what the second book or the third book or the fourth book is going to be about. I don't even know if we follow the same character, but I'd like to find out what they're about by reading this one and then reading the other ones, and then finally I'll know what they're all about. Okay, the next book on my list is Dolores Claiborne by Stephen King. This is a King book that I'm fairly certain I've read before. I'm pretty sure, but I'm thinking back to when I think I read it, and it was a long time ago. It was when I was in late middle school or early high school, so it's been a while. I know the gist of the story is that it follows a woman named Dolores Claiborne who has a missing husband, and I think we come in when the police are kind of asking her about what happened to her husband, and you know, she's retelling the story of what happened to her husband. And actually, now that I'm thinking about this, it's like I don't really remember the middle of the book or the beginning of the book, but I know like what happens to her husband. So I think I read this. I'm pretty sure I read it. But anyways, I'm going to read it again or for the first time or fucking whatever. But yeah, it's been a while since I read a King. I'd like to read some King. Okay, next on my list is a book I'm so very excited for. It is such a gorgeous color. Oh my god. This is Antioch by Jessica Leonard, and this was published by Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing, which is the press that Max Booth III runs. And I read one of his books last year. It ended up being one of my faves of the year. It's so bizarre. And so I was very excited. When I saw this cover, I was like, what is this? Because it's just such a gorgeous, like dreamy sunset color. But then it's about like a woman who's kind of an armchair detective, and there have been these murders in her small town, and she thinks that she hears something to indicate that the next victim has already been abducted, and she's going to solve the fucking crime. I think what really put me onto this though is this blurb that says, Antioch, a cross between Session 9 and Disappearance at Devil's Rock. And I've never read Disappearance at Devil's Rock. I own the book, haven't read it, but Session 9 is such a really great horror movie. So I'm wondering like what similarities that movie and this book are going to have. Like why would you say this? I'm so curious about it. Yeah, I want to find out what's going on here. Second to last book on my list is Snow by Ronald Malfi. He is an author that I've read a few times, and every time I finish a book by him, I'm like, I really like this. It's crazy. So this is a book about a man named Todd Curry, and he's trying to travel from Chicago to Des Moines, Iowa. I think his flight gets canceled, so he has to drive there with, well, he doesn't have to, but he decides to drive there with like other passengers of this flight that got canceled. And on the way there, they find a man who's just like on the side of the road, and it's very eerie. The next town they come to is like a ghost town, and they don't know what's going on, and that's all I know about this. That's all I care to know at this point. I'm so excited to have my hands on this copy because a lot of Ronald Malfi's books are out of fucking print, although some of them are being reprinted or reissued. I'm not sure if they're just ebooks, because I was actually looking at this yesterday and it seemed like for now they're only ebooks. I'm hoping that they are reprinted, but it's like The Ascent, which I really liked, and Bone White and Snow and December Park, and like really these ones that are all raved about are being reissued or reprinted or something. So I'd like to get my hands on those. really fucking excited about snow. I'm so excited. It's one of the Winterfield books that I picked out for myself for this year. Okay, and last but not least is Salvaged by Madeleine Roux. This is a science fiction book that I picked out as one of the books I think I might give 5 stars to this year. So this is about a woman named Rosalind, and she kind of grew up and has like a famous family and was on a career path to be like a bioengineer or something, and she just kind of like dips out and ditches everything and becomes something called a space janitor, where she's part of a team that cleans up after like wreckages and like bad things that happen on spaceships, which I'm assuming could be many different things. And so she is sent to clean up this ship after this crew is supposedly just all dead, but they get there and the crew is not dead, and there's like a parasite on the ship, and I'm just really hoping that this is great. It ticks so many interests, so many boxes of my interests. What am I trying to say? It sounds so interesting. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm so excited about it. I'm Twitter-pated. But I'm hoping I love this. It sounds so interesting. I really love space parasites, and I hope it's great. So those are the books I plan on reading in January. I hope this is a great reading month. I'm so excited about everything I picked out this month, and I hope it's just all really good. So thank you all so much for watching. Let me know the book you're most excited to read in January. Let me know, because I'm curious and I'm nosy and I just want to be in your biz. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.